friends, welcome back to another video. If you could not tell by the title, it is that time again. I am picking my reads for the month of July. We're gonna be using my trusty TBR jar. This is my second time doing this. Last month I had a lot of fun choosing my reads from this jar, so I figured we might as well do it again. I'm honestly not sure if I'm gonna do this every single time because I am very much a mood reader. You're probably wondering why I don't just put out a TBR video at the very beginning of the month instead of like 9 days in. And honestly, I'm wondering that too. One of these days I will. One of these days I'll be early with my TBR video, but that day is not today, unfortunately. I think I'm gonna stick to picking 5 books from the TBR jar, and then I might talk about some of the books that I'm wanting or hoping to read for the month of July. I don't know how many books I'll end up reading by the end of the month, but I feel like 5 is a good number. Without further ado, pick some books for the month of July. Oh. A book you can binge in a day. Honestly, I think there's a few on here that I could binge in a day. When Grumpy Met Sunshine. I have never read any books by this author. I don't even really know if this is her debut novel or not. It was on Book Outlet at the beginning of the year and I loved the cover. I thought it was so cute. So I think this would be a good option. It also seems like it's pretty short. This is 318 pages. I could definitely binge this in a day easy. When grumpy ex-footballer Alfie Harding gets badgered into selling his memoir, he knows he's never going to be able to write it. He hates revealing a single thing about himself, is allergic to most emotions, and can't imagine doing a good job of putting pen to paper. And so in walks curvy, cheery, cute as heck ghostwriter Mabel Williker, who knows just how to sunshine and sass her way into getting every little detail out of Alfie. They banter and bicker their way to writing his life story, both of them sure they'll never be anything other than at odds. But after their business arrangement is mistaken for a budding romance, the pair have to pretend to be an item for a public who's ravenous for more of the Cinderella story. Or at least it feels like it's pretend, until each slow burn step in their fake relationship sparks a heat neither can control. Now they just have to decide, is the sizzling chemistry just for show, or something so real it might just give them their fairy tale ending? Okay, this sounds fun. I feel like I would enjoy this. Tried and true Tessa Bailey books. I feel like her books are not necessarily literary works of art. Every time I read them, I end up enjoying them, eating them up, finishing them in a day. They're always fun and witty. I always end up laughing, and the spice is always top tier. I know for a fact that either one of these I could probably end up binging in a day. When I first got back into reading, I read It Happened One Summer and absolutely fell in love with Tessa Bailey. And when I'm feeling like I need just like a quick little palate cleanser, she's always my go-to. Tallulah is smart, vivacious, and studying to be a marine biologist. She's also 26 and broke, so when Burgess, a battle-scarred hockey veteran and newly single dad, offers her a job as his live-in nanny, she jumps at the opportunity to get paid while living in a super fancy neighborhood and being around Lissa, his cool but introverted tween. His tween charge isn't the only one who could use some help fitting in though. According to, well, everyone except Burgess, he needs to get back on the dating scene, and adventurous Tallulah is just the girl to show him how. Boundaries are slowly crossed, and Burgess finds himself pulled between his daughter, who wants her parents back together, and his insane chemistry with Tallulah. A huge rift is formed, and Tallulah does the right thing, breaks her own heart, and walks away. Though Burgess knows it's for the best, he's too jaded, with too much baggage. A chance meeting and a new push from his daughter forces him to put everything on the line and fight to prove he learned his lessons well and is worthy of a happily ever after with Tallulah. When professional hockey player Sig Gother's car breaks down and his phone dies, he treks into posh private country club to call a tow truck. There, he encounters the alluring Chloe Clifford, the manic pixie dream girl who captivates him immediately with her sense of adventure and penchant for stealing champagne. Sparks fly during a moonlight kiss, and the enamored pair can't wait to see each other again. But when Sig finally arrives to meet his dad's new girlfriend over dinner, Chloe is confusingly also there. Turns out the girlfriend is Chloe's mother. Oh, and they're engaged. Sig's dream girl is his future stepsister. Though the pair is now wary of being involved romantically, Chloe, a sheltered heart prodigy, yearns to escape her controlling mother. Sig promises to teach her the ins and outs of independence in Boston, but not inside his bedroom. They both know there can never be more than friendship between a famous hockey player and his high society soon-to-be stepsister. but keeping their relationship platonic grows harder, developing family drama, especially knowing they were meant for so much more. I don't know, honestly. For some reason, like, I was thinking I'd go with the Au Pair Affair, but I kind of feel like I want to go with Dream Girl Drama. I think we're gonna choose Dream Girl Drama for our first pick. Okay, book number 1 down. Let's pick book number 2. Some of these are on sticky notes, so they're literally sticking in my hand. And to each other. Okay, I think I have 2. Okay, a new release. I'm gonna pick. To be fair, this didn't release this month, but I still consider it a new release. Okay, I have absolutely been dying to read this. Rachel Gillig is my favorite author. One Dark Window, Two Twisted Crowns, literally my favorite books of all time. I'm not even kidding. Like, those books single-handedly made me fall in love even deeper with reading in a way that I did not know was possible. I plan to do a reread of the Shepherd King duology this year. When she announced this book, the excitement that I felt, I pre-ordered it, and I'm sorry, but can we just appreciate the sprayed edges? Like, this book is stunning. This is not something that I want to binge. Like, I want to take my time with it because I love Rachel Gillig. I love her writing, and I think that this is probably going to be a very high rated book for me. One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns, like 6 stars easy. This is gonna have to be the choice. Like, I know I didn't even give any other options, but it's because I just immediately knew. Without hesitation, we're gonna go with The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig, but I will still read the back of the book. Sybil Delling has spent 9 years dreaming of having no dreams at all. Like the other foundling girls who traded a decade of service for a home in the great cathedral, Sybil is a diviner. In her dreams, she receives visions from 6 unearthly figures known as the Omens. From them, she can predict terrible things before they occur, and lords and common folk alike travel across the Stonewater Kingdom's windswept moors and craggy mountains to learn their futures by her dreams. Just as she and her sister diviners near the end of their service, a mysterious knight arrives at the cathedral. Rude, heretical, and devilishly handsome, the knight Roderick has no respect for Sybil's visions. But when Sybil's fellow diviners begin to vanish one by one, she has no choice but to seek his help in finding them. For the world outside the cathedral's cloister is wrought with peril. Only the gods have the answer she is seeking. And as much as she'd rather avoid Roderick's dark eyes and sharp tongue, only a heretic can defeat a god. I'm literally so excited to read this book. I'm so excited. Free choice. There is truly so many books that I've been wanting to read recently. I don't even know where to start. I think the Mindfuck series would be a really good one because I've been thinking about this series a lot recently. Everyone seems to love the series, and I do know some of what it's about, so I think that I would probably eat it up, honestly. And I think it's actually 5 books combined into one big book. We're also gonna add 5 Brothers by Penelope Douglas to the list. I recently read and completed the Devil's Night series and reread Birthday Girl, and honestly, I'm just a Penelope Douglas stan. She can do no wrong. Everything that she writes is gold, and I'm not sure if this is a standalone or not. I think it is. I think that I would have a really good time with this one. I think it's also taboo romance as well, which is my favorite, admittedly. Another one that I really want to read is Nocticadia by Carrie Lake. I've heard that this gives dark gothic vibes, which is my absolute favorite. I've also heard that the MMC in this book is scrumptious. I think that I would probably eat this up too, so this might have to go on the list as well. Another one, which is the start to a series, which I believe is 4 or 5 books. I think the 4th book comes out next month. The Legacy series, Reign of Shadows and Endings by Melissa K. Rourke. So I think these are going to be the options for the free pick, because if I don't stop now, I'm going to have a gigantic pile. Synopsis for the Mindfuck series. Risk. They took too much, left too little. I had nothing to lose until him. Lana, I didn't expect him. I didn't want to fall in love, but I can't let him go. Logan Bennett makes the world a safer place. He's brilliant. He's a hero. He locks away the sick and depraved, but while he's saving lives, I'm taking them, collecting the debts that are owed to me. 10 years ago, they took from me. They left me for dead. They should have made sure I stayed dead. Now I'm taking from them, one name at a time. I've trained for too long. I've been patient. I can't stop now. Revenge is best served cold. They never see me coming until I paint their walls red. Logan doesn't know how they hurt me. He doesn't know about the screams they ignored. He doesn't know how twisted that town really is. He just knows people are dying. He doesn't know he's in love with their killer. No one suspects the dead girl, and Logan doesn't suspect the girl in his bed. They're looking for a monster, not a girl who loves red, not a girl in love. I'm a faceless nightmare. At least until I tell them the story they've pretended never happened. But in the end, will Logan choose them or will we watch them burn together? Ooh, okay, that sounds so good. Five Brothers by Penelope Douglas. Macon is the oldest, 31, ex-Marine. I don't think I've ever seen him smile. Army is 28, a single dad with the most beautiful green eyes. He has no idea who he is if not a Jaeger brother. Iron will be in prison soon. You'd never think it to meet him. He's a nice guy, actually, but he can't stop reacting to everything. Dallas is the one I hate. 21, cruel and selfish. He takes and then throws away whatever's left. And Trace is mine, or he was for about 2 seconds. No one can tame him for long. Not that I ever wanted to. It was fun, but now I need to go home, back to my side of the tracks, away from the swamp and these men, to my parents' big house on my clean street, where I'm never dirty or messy or hot. And I will. I'll leave first thing tomorrow morning. I just want to crash on the couch one night. Their house is dark and quiet, and everyone else is asleep except for him. He sees me crying and comes at me from behind. I let him wrap his arm around my body and hold me tightly. His breath is on my neck. His fingers are in my hair, and he doesn't stop there. I don't think it was Trace. Oh, Penelope! Penelope! Penelope, Penelope. I don't need to say anything. I don't need to say anything. If you know, you know. Okay, Nocticadia. After watching my mother succumb to a mysterious illness, I promised myself 2 things. I'd find the cure for what ravaged her and leave the godforsaken city where she abandoned me. 4 years later, I receive an acceptance letter from Drcadia University, one of the oldest, most prestigious schools in the country. Nestled on a secluded island off the coast of Maine, it's rumored to be haunted by the souls of the mental patients exiled there centuries before. Those whose bones are said to make up the island's white sandy shores, and restless ghosts aren't even its most daunting peculiarity. Deverick Bramwell, known on campus as Dr. Death, is a brilliant pathologist in charge of the Midnight Lab. He's also my devastatingly handsome professor who seems to loathe tenacious first years like me. Except his dark and enigmatic gaze tells me all the ways he'd devour me if given the chance, and his stolen kisses burn my lips with forbidden fantasy. I crave his authority. He aches for redemption. Together, we're toxic. Delicious fodder for the prying eyes hell-bent on exhuming the rotted skeletons of our past. For the dead have much to teach, and it's only a matter of time before Drcadia's most depraved secret is resurrected. Oh my god, these are literally all bangers. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? And we have a Reign of Shadows and Endings. This is a big girl. She thick. She real thick. Okay, this is like, what, 650 pages? Of all the worlds and life they created, the gods favored their children the most, but with that favor came the fear that their legacy would one day become too powerful and overthrow them. Devrim was created, a realm hidden amongst the stars. The gods gave their legacy the best of all the worlds and then they left, a sworn agreement to never return and to never interfere, a historical event. Forced to a life of servitude, the Fae are required to provide for the legacy in more ways than one. Every 5 years, the eligible Fae are gathered for the selection and assigned to serve in one of the 6 kingdoms. I don't know if y'all could hear that. That was crazy. I think that was a motorcycle. To be chosen as the personal source for a kingdom heir is the greatest honor. And for the first time in a millennia, all 6 kingdoms have heirs choosing a source, but their selections could tip the power balance a little too far. A chosen that was never meant to be. Tessalin Asura was as forgotten as the realm, but when she finds herself the personal source to the heir of ending, she winds up serving in the darkest kingdom of them all. The secrets within the Arius kingdom are meant to be learned and kept, but this was never the life she wanted, fighting not only the fate thrust upon her, but the temptation to lose herself to desire. Tessa will do anything to escape her new destiny, until she starts to realize maybe their world wasn't as forgotten as they thought, and maybe she's the reason why. Okay, so I think it's gonna be between Nocticadia by Carrie Lake and the Mindfuck series by St. Abbey. I think I want to do the Mindfuck series by St. Abbey. I haven't read anything like this before, and everyone seems to really love this book. I feel like I would enjoy it a lot, so we're gonna go with that for my free pick. So we have 2 more books to choose. Okay, an emotional read. Okay, so one of the options I think we're gonna choose, June 1st by Jennifer Hartman. I read Older by Jennifer Hartman and expected it to be like super spicy, smutty, fun. It was not that. It was that. It was that. Let me not lie. It was that, but it was also so much more than that. And now I'm just convinced that Jennifer Hartman can do no wrong when it comes to writing. So I really want to read another one of her books. I've heard that this is like beautiful and so good. I've also heard that Still Beating is really dark and emotional, but also beautiful and good. So that's another option. I ordered that. It should be here tomorrow. So we can include that in our options too. I think we're going to include Beartown by Frederick Bachman. I think that I will probably cry reading this from everything that I've seen about it, but I feel like this would be a really good choice too. Also going to include Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. I think that I actually included this as an option for my June TBR and I didn't end up picking it. This is something that I would like to read in the month of July, so we'll include that as an option too. I think these are going to be our options for emotional reads. When Brant Elliott was 6 years old, his father made a choice that altered the course of his entire life. Because of that choice, Brant was left orphaned and grieving. Because of that choice, his best friend's parents adopted him just after the birth of their daughter. Because of that choice, because that daughter became his adopted sister, the only girl Brant would ever love became the only girl he could never have. Though in a lot of ways, he does have her. He has her first steps, her first words, her first smile. He has her milestones, her heartbreaks, her dreams. He has her heart so woven in with his. He doesn't know where she ends and he begins. As the years press on, that line between them keeps blurring, and the blurrier the line, the easier it is to cross. Despite how forbidden their attraction is, it never feels wrong. They say tragedy comes in threes. Brand's first tragedy changed him, the second one broke him, and the third one might just heal him. For at the center of all that tragedy, there is a love story, and at the center of that love story, there is June. Let's look up Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman. When Cora attends her sister's birthday party, she expects at most a hungover or a walk of shame. She doesn't anticipate a stolen wallet, leaving her stranded and dependent on Dean, her arch nemesis and ultimate thorn in her side. And she really doesn't anticipate waking up in shackles in a madman's basement. To make matters worse, Dean shares the space in his own set of chains. After 15 years of teasing, insults, and practical jokes, the ultimate joke seems to be on them. The two people who always thought they'd end up killing each other must now work together if they want to survive. But Cora and Dean have no idea their abductor has a plan for them, a plan that will alter the course of their relationship, blur the line between hate and love, and shackle them together with far more than just chains. Okay, I think that we're gonna go with Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman. All of these sound amazing, and I wish I could pick more than one, but I'm like really drawn to the storyline behind that one, and I think I would love it because I absolutely loved Older. The physical copy is supposed to be here in the morning, but I think it actually is on Kindle Unlimited too, so I might be able to get it there. Let's pick our 5th and final book. Enemies to Lovers. God tier trope, one of my favorite tropes. Reign of Shadows and Endings by Melissa K. Rorick. I'm pretty sure that this is Enemies to Lovers, so I think this would be a good option. Another one that I think we could do is Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. I don't know if this is actually true Enemies to Lovers, to be honest, but I have been wanting to read an Ali Hazelwood book. We're gonna say this is an option. That I think we could add is Anathema by Carrie Lake. I think this is true Enemies to Lovers. I love dark gothic books. I know that that's Carrie Lake's specialty, so I think I would really enjoy this one. I think another good Enemies to Lovers option would be The Book of Azrael by Amber V. Nicole. I have heard so much about the Gods and Monsters series. I think that I would really enjoy it, so I think that'll be our last option for the Enemies to Lovers. The many lives of theoretical physicist Elsie Hannaway have finally caught up with her. By day, she's an adjunct professor, toiling away at grading labs and teaching thermodynamics in the hopes of landing tenure. By other day, Elsie makes up for her non-existent paycheck by offering her services as a fake girlfriend, tapping into her expertly honed people-pleasing skills to embody whichever version of herself the client needs. Honestly, it's a pretty sweet gig, until her carefully constructed Elsieverse comes crashing down. Because Jack Smith, the annoyingly attractive and arrogant older brother of her favorite client, turns out to be the cold-hearted experimental physicist who ruined her mentor's career and undermined the reputation of theorists everywhere. And he's the same Jack Smith who rules over the physics department at MIT, standing right between Elsie and her dream job. Elsie is prepared for an all-out war of scholarly sabotage, but those long, penetrating looks, not having to be anything other than her true self when she's with him, will falling into an experimentalist orbit finally tempt her to put her most guarded theories on love into practice. Okay, that sounds so good. There are whispers about what lurks in Witchnell, in the forest where sinners go to die. The villagers call it the Eating Woods because what's taken is never given back. Only those who've lost their senses would dare to go near it. Or the Banished. Mavith Bronwick knows better than to breach the misty labyrinth of trees, but a tragic turn of events compels her beyond the Archway of Bones, to a boundary no mortal has crossed before, one that cloaks a dark and fantastical world that's as dangerous as it is alluring. It's there that he dwells, the cursed lord of Adolin, the one tasked to keep her hidden from the magehood that seeks to crucify her in the name of Aryan prophecy. I don't know if it's Aryan. Arcane! Oh my god! Arcane. Zavander Rydane? This is literally me trying to read fantasy books. Zavander Rydane, known to his prey as the Scorpion, is the coldest, most calculated assassin in all of Aethria, and he'd soon toss his feisty ward to a pack of vicious fire drakes than keep her safe. If only he could. Mavis' blood is the key to breaking his despised curse and vanquishing the slumbering evil in Witchnell. Unfortunately for Lord Rydane, fate has other plans for the irresistible little enchantress, and his growing obsession with her threatens to destroy everything, including himself. Ooh! There's really not a big description, summary on this one, which I love. Don't tell me too much. I don't need to know too much. For 1,000 years after the gods' war, the Etherworld has known peace. Soon that too will change. An old enemy, driven by revenge, slowly builds an army behind the scenes. Temples are being ransacked in search of an item long lost. And enemies since the dawn of time must put aside their differences if they have any hope for survival. I think I'm gonna go with Reign of Shadows and Endings. I've been wanting to read the series so bad. Honestly, I've been wanting to read all these books so bad, but something about the cover is calling to me. It's gorgeous. This is gonna be our 5th and final pick for my July TBR. I'm honestly so excited for this TBR. I don't want to speak too soon, but honestly, I could literally pick up and read any of these right now. So that's a good sign for someone who's a mood reader. I think we might be able to stick to it this month. I don't want to speak too soon. I'm going to end up jinxing myself, but I also feel like 5 is a really good number. If I want to pick something else up, it does give me space to explore outside of the TBR as well. There are a few other books on my radar that I'm hoping to get to for the month of July. All in all, I feel like I have such good options. I'm really happy with my TBR for July. I would love to know if you've read any of these books or if you have them on your TBR too. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for sticking around and hanging out and watching me choose my books for the month of July. I'm honestly so excited to get started. Obviously, I will be updating you, bringing you along with me for some of it, so please consider liking and subscribing. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!